Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, December 29th, and we are here even at the end of the year answering your questions every single day, 7 days a week. Well, I don't think we'll be answering questions 7 days a week because I think we'll do a few, like best of kind of things where we'll rerun some interviews that we really like. That's just to give me and Mark a break. Yesterday, Mark sent me a note, just got finished editing you for 6 hours, logging off now. You just must have hated my voice then. I know you did.
That's the double-edged sword of having our time off. It's nice to have the time off, but all the prep work that goes into it ahead of time, it's just a lot of editing. So yeah, it's been a lot of Jill this week.
I'm so sorry. I'm sick of me also, believe me. But also every so often I surprise Mark. I send him a little note. It's 4:30 in the morning. Hey, by the way, here's this. Get some stuff done. And, that way I just push off to you what I don't have to deal with. It's fantastic. So we have a perfect partnership. Okay, so let's get to you. Right now, we are going to chat with Jane from the Midwest. Hello, Jane. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Delighted to be with you guys today.
Fantastic. What brings you to us? What's going on?
Well, I've been a do-it-yourselfer investor my whole life. And so, I'm delighted to think that I can have your eyes and Mark's eyes on whatever little pile of pennies I've collected. And you'll be able to see the flaws in what I've done and tell me about it.
I have a little saying in my household, which is no one wants perfection. We like imperfection. Imperfection is much more interesting. So you don't have to be perfect. We're happy to chat with you and figure out where you stand. So first of all, let's go to the basics. How old are you, Jane?
I am 66, and the other half in the family here, the husband is 76.
76, an older man. Okay. Is he retired?
Well, we're farmers.
What?
So farmers never retire. We just keep going.
No, farmers never retire. They just sit on their land and hope it appreciates.
Let's hope so.
Are you still, you're still active and earning a living doing this?
Yeah, we started a little berry farm years and years ago. And so it brings in a little income. We call it the berry annuity. Mm-hmm. So in the summertime, we sell some blueberries and life is good. And then the rest of the time, we do whatever we do.
Okay. So how much does that bring in, that income?
Every year it's different. 20 to 30,000 as a net income.
Oh, that's good. And you think that's going to continue for a while or for how long?
Yeah, we think so. We call it as long as we're vertical and ventilating.
Oh my God, that's hysterical. So what is the income in addition to the berries?
So the husband collects Social Security, but we've never been big earners and farmers didn't pay into the system. So he collects like $900 a month in spendable income. And when I hit 70, I'll get $1,200. So that collectively is not enough money to live on by a long shot.
What do you need?
And we need $60,000 a year or $5,000 a month.
Okay, I gotcha. Do you have other assets on which you are drawing to make up the difference?
Yeah, we've, I've been a penny pincher and a saver. We've got a pile of cash, $200,000 there. Got some bond funds and some I bonds. There's another 360,000 there. And then a bunch of money in taxable brokerages, one at Vanguard, one at TD Ameritrade.
How much in that taxable?
There's like 1.2 between those accounts.
Those two accounts.
Yep.
It's funny how she started, Mark, because here I'm listening to her tell a story. She's like, this, and then she goes, 1.2, like, wait for it. Okay. So you have a lot of money, which is good. So what are you doing right now? So you have the berry income, you've got your husband's Social Security, and where are you drawing money from to make up the difference? You keep that money that's in cash. Is that what you're using?
I use that, it all comes in the summer for, it's a summer thing, so you got to parse it out. He's got a small SEP IRA that has only got 32,000 in it. So we take a required minimum distribution, but that's not much. And then I've had a larger I-bond stash, and I've been, as those come due, 30 years rolls along, I've been cashing out the 30-year ones, and that adds to the available spendable
That's great.
money.
So that's great.
By the way, she knew about I-bonds before the rest of us did.
Clearly, or she was doing it more well before any of us. So what is the farm worth?
In the wildest dreams, at least $500,000, and maybe twice that. Farmland goes up and down, and
Yeah, sure. But you want to stay? Like, what's the game
I
plan?
want to stay. Again, as long as you can make the stairs, you can still walk. And, so yeah, we'd love to stay. We've been here 36 years, made it a pretty spot. It's pretty nice, my own little arboretum. And so that's pretty cool. I'd like to stay, and maybe I have two boys who have no interest in being blueberry farmers yet.
You know why? Because it's exhausting. And they're like, wait, they toiled. We're not into toiling.
Right. On the other hand, they're both unattached. And should they find a woman who wants to live in a rural lifestyle, out in the country, maybe,
Maybe. All right. Well, okay. So you've got about this 1.7 million, and you don't have any debt and no
debt.
Mortgage. Okay. So you've got this 1.7 million that you've squirreled away, or so, maybe closer to 1.8, which, should generate 50 grand a year for you, right? Sounds like most of it is actually taxable. So
Absolutely.
It's kind of great. So you got the 50, and then you got the husband's $900 a month. And that looks like it kind of does the job. No?
Yep, pretty much. So,
All right.
we're rolling along. I'd love to be able to give my 30-year-olds some house money for their future. But,
That's
again,
not happening. When they can do that, I think you might be able. Well, first of all, do they want that right now?
No, not immediately.
First of all, you're young. Let's just think about this. I think that, in 4 years when you turn 70, the scales tip a little bit differently, right? Because that extra money coming in will basically obviate the need for you taking out as much money from your savings. And you'll kind of get a sense of like, well, maybe what we'll do is, if they are in the position where they want that, then perhaps, yes, we would, help them out. But you're pretty close in terms of like your needs are being satisfied. But, if all of a sudden the Berry income went away, or either one of you is like tired, or you blow your back out, or you can't really do the things you thought you were going to do, we need this money. We really do. Listen, if you wanted to, or they were into it, then I think certainly if something happened with the farm, right? Let's pretend someone came up to you and said, I want to pay the wrong price for this farm. And what do I mean by that? I mean that if they said, here's $1.2 million, do you want this? You might say to yourself, $1.2 million, I could do that, right? In that case, I think it's worth considering whether you would want to make some sort of like lump sum, gift to each of your kids. But until that is liquid, or if there's something has changed or not changed, then I don't know if you need to do that. I'm kind of like, let's hold back. Maybe you could, you could do it, but maybe not. Maybe not right now. How's that?
Yeah, I think not right now. They're not really super settled, and rates are up and prices are crazy. So,
And so what about like your management of these assets? Like what's inside the taxable account?
Mostly index funds, exchange traded, Vanguard, the total stock market.
Okay. And you're fine with that? You feel okay? You feel comfortable with the
I've done it all myself, and I'm tempted to buy on the down here. I've been squirreling away a little more money. Oh, look, it's down. I'll buy some more.
Look at you going. I think you're in good shape. Do you guys have wills and healthcare proxies and durable powers of attorney?
Yes, that part we do.
Okay. I think you're in great shape. I mean, if you had to dip into one of these accounts more significantly because things change, then, we might need to talk about how do we need to liquidate the farm. Today, I think your status quo is pretty great. It really is. The fact that you are able to even delay collecting that Social Security till your age 70 is also great. And, I'm fine with you guys kind of making sure that SEP IRA gets drained by the time you get to Social Security age. It's okay. You could tap that. You're in a pretty low tax bracket, aren't you?
Yes, indeed we are.
Are you in the 12% bracket? Meaning,
yeah, most years.
Okay. Because if you're still in there, if you can take a little bit extra, a little beyond your required minimum distributions for your husband, it's fine. You can use that. I would like to get rid of that first. It'll just be easier for you guys.
Okay, that makes sense. Good idea.
As long as you stay in the 12%, because then we could do that before you collect Social Security when your income will rise a little bit, right? Sounds good?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I like this. All right, Jane from the Midwest, we're done with you. Are you done with us?
I think so. I'm delighted. Thanks so much for the reassurance, and we'll stay warm in this cold weather.
It is cold. It is cold. Welcome to winter, gang. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Jane. And all of you, thank you for joining us. If you would like to come on the air, just like Jane, tell us about your blueberries, your strawberries, your blackberries, your raspberries. All you need to do is go to jillonmoney.com, click the contact us button, and check that box that says you want to come on the air. Mark would do everything else. Oh, we're getting down to it. We are really collecting piles and piles of pre-orders for the Great Money Reset. Remember, the whole point of this book and the pre-orders is that I somehow, miraculously, because I don't think it's a given, end up on the New York Times bestseller list. That would be the best thing. But, if I don't, I don't. You remember last time, Mark, I said I'd never going to write a book again? This time I might be really certain of it.
This is like a person who runs a marathon and they say never again. And then 2 years later, they're training for a marathon.
Well, not unlike that, I did pre-register for the horrible 275-mile bike ride again.
They didn't change the format? They're not going to tweak it?
No, they were going to try. They were not. They don't want to do it this year because they were already locked into having some of the hotels. All right. You don't need to hear more about that. Gang, thanks so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. I hope you're having some good days. Maybe you're having some days off, or maybe you're in the office and no one else is there, which is always lovely. One of my favorite times. The dogs are barking. That means I have to go. Please do something nice for someone else today. Grit, growth, grace. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.